This is the Misguided Meeples podcast.
He's very good at pleading the fifth.
Everyone's got to have a specialty.
Exactly. Not really great for a lawyer, but, surprisingly, he makes it work.
With your hosts, Eric.
How do you like bats, Natty?
So at that point,
Cold Skin Cabana Boys.
I don't know what the black lobster, what the black prop.
Then there's something wrong with you. You're certainly not very good.
And Natty.
Apparently was very acrobatically sound. Put it in prisoner visitor bums, it'd be a lot easier. Oh, I thought people kept chickens because they wanted eggs and kind of hated themselves.
Hey everyone, welcome. I am Eric.
And I'm Natty.
This is the Misguided Meeples podcast, having conversations about the most bizarre news of the week. We are carried on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, and YouTube, and we would love a subscribe, a like, or a review if I can get through this intro, if you like the podcast. Only nice reviews, though, or I will turn into a ghost and I'll plant meth on your person.
He'll do it. Don't test him.
Ooh, yeah. I'm serious. That's a legitimate threat. Take that to the bank.
You done been warned.
You done been warned. Let's get into these news stories.
All right. To start with, we're going back to Canada, which seems to happen a lot.
It really does for these bizarre stories. Lots of Canadians doing weird things.
Thank you, Canada. You're doing a service to us all.
You're really helping out this podcast,
I know,
whether
really,
you know
right?
it or not. Although no listeners in Canada yet, apparently. So we'll see.
Weird how that works, huh?
Yeah, very
They're
odd.
too busy doing weird stuff.
Yeah, they're too busy to doing weird stuff than listening to weird stuff.
Exactly. I mean, how
them.
mundane is listening to a podcast when you could be, swimming in an aquarium in the nude?
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
I know what I'd rather be doing with my Saturday afternoon.
Oh, clearly. Come on.
So, yeah.
So we're going to start with Milton, Ontario. Psychic Dory Medina Stevenson charged with witchcraft.
Ooh, witchcraft.
Yeah, just let that sink in.
That is an interesting charge to be charged with in this day of age, 2018.
Indeed it is, but it is still legal precedence, apparently.
She's a witch burner. That's when I should have gotten a drop for that. I'm so dumb. I should have.
Oh, damn, we did need a clip for that. That would have been beautiful.
Should have got that drop. I'm really dumb. Now that I'm thinking about it, that was stupid. Oh, well.
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah.
So, Halton Regional Police have arrested 32-year-old woman from Milton, Ontario, and charged her with extortion, fraud over $5,000, and pretending to practice witchcraft.
That is some charge.
It is. I mean, the first two are pretty valid. Kind of loses a little bit of stable footing towards the end.
Oh, yeah, certainly. I mean, the practicing witchcraft is the most interesting part of like how you can actually charge someone with easy for me to say with witchcraft. Fuck off. with. Oh my god.
Just get it out of your system now. I mean,
I'm trying. I can't do it, man. Can't do it.
it's okay. You're making wonderful quotes.
It's bad. So anyway, back to the witchcraft.
Yeah. So you think if witchcraft was part of the charge, you'd lead with that?
Yeah, I would think so.
Well, at any rate, she was arrested after a 5-month investigation. I feel like it shouldn't have taken that long.
Yo, do you think you're a witch? Are you selling your witch services to other people?
Well, just
If yes to both those questions, then I mean, yeah, you're coming with us. Sorry.
Yeah. Or just throw her in the water and see if she sinks.
Oh,
So apparently she extorted a lot of people out of some money, and one of them claims to have been defrauded of more than $60,000 after consulting with a woman who owns a registered business called Milton Psychic. $60,000.
Very interesting. The police sergeant there basically said that like these people who are defrauding people based on witchcraft are essentially being squeezed for such a long period of time to the point where they've just given up so much money that they feel too embarrassed to actually press charges.
It's kind of a working scheme. Shame will keep people from doing a lot of things.
Oh, certainly.
What I'm wondering though is that over how many sessions is $60,000 taken out of you?
I hope more than one.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, that's a scary thought. And he still admitted it.
Oh yeah. Well, apparently. I mean, that's the only way they would have started this investigation. So it seems interesting to me. I mean, like, you keep spending $60,000. Like, you keep going back and spending more and more and more money with this woman. It seems bizarre to me.
Yeah, I mean, she must have been right at least once.
Well, I would hope so.
That or she picks her clientele very well.
She picks the most gullible out of all of them.
That's it. Well, luckily, the Canadian police force can take you in for that under the law that states, apparently is section 365 of Canada's Criminal Code, and it states, everyone who pretends to exercise or to use any kind of witchcraft, sorcery, enchantment, or conjuration undertakes for a consideration to tell fortunes, or pretends from his skill in or knowledge of an occult or crafty science to discover where or in what manner anything that is supposed to have been stolen or lost may be found.
One thing that really sticks out to me is they only assume that men can do witchcraft.
I noticed that too. It seems a little unfair there.
So that's very sexist. And honestly, let's be real. There's a lot of women out there who are doing much more witchcraft than men are.
Yeah, if you look at the Salem witch trials, a lot more women got in trouble than men.
Oh yeah, for sure. So that's really interesting. Essentially, the criminal code defines witchcraft in the context of fraud. So
yes. So Canadians don't believe in magic is clearly the case.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess I would hope so. I would hope.
Well, unless you have $60,000, then you might. Yeah, specific to finding something, which is interesting. But you can also tell by the wording that this is not a recent addition to the criminal code.
No, definitely not. So to me, it just seems like one of those things where basically, like, it sets weird guidelines on, like, people like fortune tellers or things like that, where it's like you can tell someone's fortune, but you can't tell anyone where they might have lost something. Or
find them. Well, see, that's the interesting thing, because some of the examples given don't necessarily relate to finding something.
So, like this example, a Spanish newspaper producer in Toronto who was promised to lift a woman's family curse for $14,000.
So I mean, maybe that was one session. I mean, that's a big chunk of change for lifting a curse. It has nothing to do with finding something that has been stolen or lost.
Oh, certainly. Yeah, it just seems it seems different from what the definition says, but I could be wrong. Maybe someone stretched it out.
I mean, yeah, because I mean, even the other ones. Toronto woman convinced a lawyer to fork over tens of thousands of dollars by claiming she was the manifestation of his dead sister. See, that's convoluted.
That is fucked up. That is so fucked up.
It is, but at the same time, I mean, you believed her?
That's true. But at the same time, she's clearly committing fraud. Like, there's no...
Oh, yeah. It's a very strange form of fraud.
Yeah. So... I kind of get it. I get why this law exists, but at the same time, it's just odd. It's odd. So it's not necessarily like, this person is practicing fortune telling or, doing witchcraft as a hobby. They don't care about that. They care about the fact that you're using witchcraft to con people out of money and defraud them in seriously effed up ways.
Right. So if you're in Canada and you want to summon spirits or, I don't know, raise the dead or something like that, that's totally fine. But if you make someone pay for it, not okay.
Yeah, because basically they don't believe in magic, which is I think that's a fair law in my book.
And yet,
but
proposed legislation plans to remove that from the criminal code.
Yeah, this one's actually kind of contested. They do at least go into both sides on, like, why both think it should or shouldn't be there. Basically, The side that says that it should be there still is the people who are just like, well, this law existing isn't overly prosecuting people who are defrauding people or overly prosecuting people who are just doing witchcraft as a hobby. It's prosecuting people that are purposely defrauding people using witchcraft, quote unquote.
Right. So it sounds like it's being used in a pretty fair manner, and it says it's rarely used. I don't think it's like an everyday.
Oh yeah, no. But the side that says it shouldn't exist anymore are essentially they're saying that like people who do it as a hobby, like people who are cosplayers, people who LARP, it may infringe on their right to do those things for some god awful reason. I have no idea.
I mean, I'm sure there's I can see pros and cons both sides.
Yeah, but the thing is too, like I in my opinion, this law existing isn't necessarily like a terrible thing. It sounds odd, but at the same time, it makes sense in the context of it. Maybe it gets broadened to something that's just overall fraud. Like, if you believe that you are magic and that you are providing a magic service to someone, that is fraud. That seems pretty legit to me. I don't know.
I know, if you genuinely believe that you are helping and the police don't believe you, I don't know, it's kind of borderline.
Yeah, it's just one of those things to me where I think it could just be broadened to overall fraud, but at the same time, maybe the witchcraft part of it's kind of like, it brings it down to a reality of like even if this person doesn't believe that they are defrauding people, they can still press charges. Because isn't that like the biggest part of the fraud case, where it's like they need to prove that this person went into it with that intent of frauding people? So,
yeah, I mean, that seems like fair procedure.
So basically, if someone's practicing witchcraft and magic and selling it and believing that that's actually working, they can't press charges for fraud, even though it might be fraud. So that's essentially the legal battle there, because it's like, well, this person believes magic exists, so they technically don't believe they're defrauding people, therefore they can't be charged by the normal term of fraud.
Well, you magical fraudsters in Canada, if you need representation, Eric, we'll take your case.
I actually don't. I actually think this law should exist, so I'm not going to legally represent you at all. Sorry. I think this law is fine, and it should exist because people should not believe in magic.
There you go. I mean, in the U.S., if someone did this to you,
Santa Claus doesn't exist. The Tooth Fairy doesn't exist. Bugs Bunny does not exist.
You just lost so many listeners. First it's Georgia, and now it's this.
Actually, no, Bugs Bunny does not exist. Sorry.
Well, no, technically no.
Technically no. He is a fictional character, correct?
Yes.
Just like Santa Claus. Just like the Tooth Fairy.
Yes.
And if you actually believe those exist, you should not be listening to this podcast, because you are probably way too young to be hearing swear words on a daily basis.
Shame on you, irresponsible parents.
Talk to your parents. Tell them that you should not be listening to this podcast right now. That's fair.
They're not going to.
So, yeah. Anyways, other than my really boring rant about fraud, do you have anything else going on with this story?
Well, I mean, no. The only thing I would have to say about it is if this happened in the U.S., they'd say you've been swindled, you idiot, and that's it.
Yeah, essentially. It doesn't seem like there's any U.S. definition of like believing like, hey, this should be a thing. So I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing, but hey, who knows? But do you know what is a bad thing, Natty?
What is that?
A really bad thing is obesity.
Unless you're a bear.
Unless you are a bear. Her radiant rolls put her over the top. Alaska Park names its fattest bear. This comes earlier this week, which is earlier this month. Actually, this is an older story. But Katami National Park closed a contest naming its fattest bear. last Tuesday when this article was written, so it was a couple weeks ago. Essentially, they held this contest on social media. They showed before and after pictures of bears throughout the summer. So they showed the bears coming out of hibernation, early spring, and late after summer, where they've been eating and eating and eating, and showing how fat they've gotten.
Oh yeah, if you should go on their website. They've got this like fantastic tournament bracket system with the bears all narrowing down to a winner.
Yeah, they picked 12 bears in a tournament style bracket. They put these posts up on Facebook, and the winner of this was bear number 409, also known as Bead Nose.
Yeah, I did not find an explanation for that.
Honestly, and also this is the 4th year this park held the contest. This is definitely more of a visual, but if you do go on their website and see the pictures of Bead Nose versus the bear that they were against, I think it's more just because the picture's a lot more cute of Bead Nose.
It is, but honestly, I'm with some of these voters. I think bear 747 might be the larger.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like, then it's clearly the fatter bear. Like,
His belly almost hits the ground.
I know, how does it move? It's a huge bear. Like, this bear's stomach is literally dragging on the ground. It looks like Maddie. It looks like one of my cats. Like, just dragging its belly around the ground. So yeah, basically they do this contest. They've been doing it for 4 years. Andrew LaVale, a park ranger at Katami, says it's all for the fun, and it is fun. It's a way to educate people on the struggle for survival that these bears go through, and the dramatic changes involved in that. So,
while giggling at fat animals.
Yeah, and it's a way of just kind of showing what the hibernation cycle is for these bears. And basically it's a funny way to bring awareness to how they live their lives. Also, LaVale said that they estimate that both bears, bear 409 and bear 747, which were the finalists, both are estimated to be around 1,000 pounds. Quote, "It's all just estimated. We don't have to step them up on any scales or anything, so we can only guess, and that's part of the fun."
That's probably for the best of everyone involved.
Yeah, I don't want to be in charge of getting a bear on a scale.
No, and can you imagine getting enough tranquilizer in like bear 747 to even try to do that? I mean,
he is a big boy or girl. I
don't
know which.
Whichever it is, they describe it as a blimpy boar whose belly barely has clearance with the ground.
Yes, for sure.
Which is fair enough.
So yeah, that's basically it for the fat bears. They're a cute thing. I will post the article on our Twitter so people can go look at the bears and how ginormous they look after they've eaten for an entire summer.
I hope it's called Fat Bear Tuesday every year. I'm gonna backtrack this contest.
Fat Bear Tuesday. Yeah.
Fat Bear Tuesday. Because that's going on my calendar.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you gotta go look when they do this contest next year. We'll definitely have to follow up. All the pictures are hilarious.
Oh, they so are.
But like I said before, Bear 409 definitely won this contest based on how cute the bear looks while also looking pudgy as hell. For sure. It definitely doesn't look like the bigger bear. It just looks very cute.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I mean, even looking at like the posts that people put up about it, I love 409, but I think 747 is fatter. Still ended up voting for 409.
Yeah,
I would die for Bear 409. That's commitment.
that's I would not advise that you die for a bear, or die because of a bear.
Especially not trying to weigh one.
Do not die while trying to weigh a bear. They are heavy. You don't need to know how heavy.
I mean, trust me, just take it from my trained eye here. That bear's fat.
That bear is a fat bear.
You're welcome.
Fat bear.
Fat bear.
So, yeah, basically that's it. Hopefully we'll have a follow-up story next year when they
Hey.
do this contest again.
Boy, I hope so. Well, the next one, we are going to stay in the United States, but this story is going to be short, sweet, and savory.
Ooh, savory.
It's a fantastic segue. You can thank Eric for that one.
Oh yeah, it's I totally came up with that.
Sorry, I think
I'm
that might be the best segue of the show.
I'm a comedic genius, just not when it comes out of my mouth.
Well, or so, not keep you in the dark too long. The article is called, Yes, Missoula Police Responded to Attack Involving Flying Salami. Yes, I did say flying salami.
Oh boy. So what happened?
So, an officer was called out to a crime involving, quote, weaponized meat. Which sounds way more provocative than it actually is.
Oh yeah.
So, apparently they had a report. Let's see. 7:47 in the evening, because time of day totally matters.
Oh yeah.
And a unknown suspect threw a salami through a man's kitchen window.
Ooh. That's
Yeah. So the police investigated, but clearly all they found was a large chunk of salami and a broken window. So the sailing sausage is still unsolved, as they put it.
like some people leave horse heads in people's beds. Some people throw salami through windows.
I mean, I guess it's more practical, right? You throw a brick through their window, what are they going to do? It's a brick. Throw a salami through the window, at least they got a meal.
Oh yeah. They can chew on that.
You're undoing it. Wait, actually, no, that's actually worse, because now you're getting salami full of glass.
That's true. Yeah.
That's adding insult to injury. You're wasting food.
Maybe you can pick out the glass if you're really committed. If it's really good salami, you gotta get in there. You gotta get in there and just pick out the glass.
That must be some high quality salami to get you to the point where you want to pick the glass out of it.
Yeah.
In which case, who's going around buying expensive high end salami and throwing it through windows?
I don't know, because there are no known suspects in this case.
Yes, they were in a gold colored car, which weirdly doesn't surprise me.
It sounds like someone who owns a butcher shop. They just the extra salami that they had at the end of the night. They just threw it through the window.
It was just whatever was on hand. It could have been a chop or whatever, but this time it was salami. I mean, if it's not something out of convenience, then I'm wondering what it feels like to hate someone enough to go out and buy deli meat to throw through their window.
That would be a big stretch, honestly. I think that's got to be. I think it's probably convenience. It's probably not something where they went out and vindictively bought salami. Although maybe
I would say that
send a message. I don't know what message that sends, but
maybe they're vegans.
Ooh, trying to intimidate them with a large roll of salami.
Slab of salami. That'll do it. This will teach them. They'll be at the market buying meat tomorrow.
The meat market.
You're probably correct. It is probably an act of convenience, but I'm really hoping this unravels some deeply rooted insanity based with a need to throw deli meat at people.
Some Family Feud or something where it's just someone many years ago pissed someone off, and salami became a conduit of which they express their rage toward each other.
See, that's a situation I want to experience. I want to feel the rage of salami hatred.
Too funny. So yeah, in case you are wondering, throwing salami through a window is a crime, though. So you cannot do that. I'm sorry.
Yes.
If you wanted to do that, it is a crime. It can be anywhere from could be charged with a misdemeanor or a felony, criminal mischief, depending on the value of the window that was broken. So it just depends on value. But that seems weird that like the felony, I don't know. It had to be really expensive window. Like what's the threshold on a felony for throwing anything through a window? Like I wonder
That's
what the
true,
dollar amount
actually.
is.
It all comes down to how much the window costs. I mean, so like don't throw, if you're going to throw deli meat through someone's window, make sure it's a tiny one.
Yeah, just like a really, really tiny window that's really easy to replace. Like $100 window. Yeah, you got it.
Perfect. Just jam that through it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not good with property law, but apparently I'm good with witchcraft law. So.
Oh, all over that.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, basically that's all the stories we have for today. Anything else you want to add, Daddy?
Nah, I think we covered it all pretty good. Oh, by the way, if you do mimic this, please use a different kind of deli meat. Then we can report it again, bologna or something.
Yeah. Use something else. Be original.
Keep it interesting.
You
Yeah.
can still throw it through a window, but just be original. Use a different meat.
Yes. Keep it interesting.
I am now subscribed to Katami National Park and Preserve, so I am very excited to vote in the contest next year. Who knows? That's one positive outcome of this podcast happening today.
Exactly. We can try to sway the balance towards voting for the bear that's actually the fattest.
I know, not just the cute bear, even though
It's
it's
cute.
very cute.
But not fat enough.
No, it was definitely not the fatter bear. For sure.
I'm a truist when it comes to fat bear competitions.
747 was the fatter bear. You are not going to convince me otherwise. Don't at me. Fight me.
Anything
IRL.
described as a blimpy boar is an automatic winner in my book.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So if you would like to join the conversation, email us at misguidedmeeplespodcast@gmail.com or tweet us at misguidedmeeple. Thank you for joining the conversation. Talk to you all next week.
Bye now. The music in our intro is Retro Future Clean, and the outro music you hear now is called Breakdown.
Both tracks were done by Kevin MacLeod at incomtech.com. If you would like to get in contact with the show, our email address is misguidedmeeplespodcast@gmail.com.
On Twitter, we are at misguidedmeeple. Follow us for show news and links to all the crazy news stories we covered in this week's episode.
And maybe even some bonus ones we didn't cover.
Gotta follow us to find out.